Deadpool was huge when it first came out. It grabbed attention with its adult tone. From the marketing to the sense of humor, here are all the ways that Deadpool changed the superhero genre. Starting with marketing. The advertising for Deadpool is pretty much as entertaining as the movie itself. From Mother's Day gags to billboards that shouldn't exist, the folks behind Deadpool pulled out all the stops. Not only was it funny, but it also had a not-so-subtle meta point of view, which made it stand out. Deadpool's marketing made sure to tap into the fourth wall breaking territory. This marketing knew its target demographic so well that it transcended its own status. That's likely a big reason why Deadpool's opening was one of the biggest R-rated openings of all time. It's not like it didn't deserve to get that great award. After elaborate ads like an SNL-style Halloween skit and many other weird marketing pieces, Deadpool set a new standard for creative movie marketing. That marketing made me believe that the big superheroes weren't all that, because apparently B-list is the new A-list. So what if Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are some of the most famous people in the world? No one cares about them or that movie. Now it's the B-listers who are all the rage. After all, Deadpool was only as good as its red-suited mutant and his group of backup dancers. While Colossus definitely had a following, it'd be a serious stretch to call him an A-lister. From top to bottom, everyone in this movie was B-list or lower, which is probably why it works so well. Virtually none of these characters had to worry about living up to overwhelming expectations. And that's exactly what Deadpool did, writing them smartly and entertainingly enough. Because of these things, the movie did a great job of putting together its own budget Avengers team. It showed Hollywood that you don't need an Iron Man or Wonder Woman to make a moneymaker with characters that can start a franchise. After everything I said, you'd probably think this movie cost millions. Nope. The team behind Deadpool saved every penny. The movie Deadpool only cost $58 million to make. Even though that's a lot of money, it's not as much as what this type of movie usually asks for its big hits. And even if we only look at other solo superhero adventures starring Ryan Reynolds, that still brings me up to $200 million range production budgets. The point is, these movies are expensive to make, or were until Deadpool proved it's possible to do so much more with so much less. On its shoestring budget, Deadpool bought itself only one full CG character. Not just that though, it also got no more than a few action sequences. And even a finale scene that omitted guns entirely solely to keep the budget tight. Because of these sacrifices, Deadpool had to keep his attention on things money can't buy, like real character growth and good humor. With these two tools, Deadpool could make every action scene twice as intense and every CGI interaction much more powerful. The marketing wasn't just on a big scale though. They let the internet go wild before releasing the movie. It was all the power of fan hype. If the test footage hadn't been leaked, there might not have been a Deadpool movie at all. Many geeks on the internet were yelling about how much they wanted some goofy guy in a red jumpsuit to shoot people and say bad words. What a time to be alive. The Deadpool situation and Fox's response set a new standard in filmmaking. When the internet speaks, it can make real change. In the past, Hollywood was a gated kingdom where the real power brokers all wore suits and traded business cards. Going forward, we now know that the fans have a voice at the table where decisions are made. It's just a matter of making enough noise. It wasn't way too self-aware though. Deadpool was a good balance between being self-aware and being honest. Many films fall into the trap of being overly sincere. Movies like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice showed us what can happen when a movie takes itself far too seriously. But if every other minute of a film's full of self-referential dialogue, we have no room for real emotional investment. Deadpool showed that you could be very self-aware and also have real feelings at the same time. Most of Deadpool's jokes that broke the fourth wall were about the main character's superhero alter ego. This way, when Wade Wilson and Vanessa Carlyle were having a real intimate moment, there wouldn't be any jokes to ruin it. It was a smart way to strike a balance between ensuring people cared about Wade and Vanessa's happiness and well-being while also letting them laugh at Deadpool's crazy antics. Of course, the show had everyone gripped by being a little risque too. It broke down sexual barriers in movies. Most people went into Deadpool thinking that the love story between Wade Wilson and Vanessa Carlyle would be a pretty standard Hollywood one. But what they got was nothing like that. It challenged assumptions regarding what's masculine, what's healthy, and what's kosher. It did things its own way, and by doing so, it made us want to do the same. In this way, Deadpool definitely broke the rules for mainstream movies. I hope movies of all kinds will continue to go against the grain. Since focused movies fail to capture the good side of the public's attention, Deadpool's more positive approach to sex can test the limits of their tolerance. Deadpool wasn't all talking sex, though. It balanced these witty moments with some good old silence. The franchise showed how important it is to be quiet. When a movie tries too hard to be weird and edgy, but never pulls itself in enough to make an impact, disaster is sure to follow. Deadpool did a great job of balancing humor, action, and emotion so that nothing took me out of the moment. No jokes were played up so much that they ruined a scene, and no action scenes were too silly for their own good. Plus, no emotional moments were played up so much that people rolled their eyes. Deadpool's jokes were subtle and quick, so if you didn't laugh at one, you'd laugh at the next one within seconds. It kept the action moving quickly, and kept the romance between Wade and Vanessa as real and understated as possible. Every time the main couple talked, they were quiet and easy to understand. In short, Deadpool showed that being subtle doesn't just work, it can make a superhero movie. You wouldn't think that'd be a big deal, but it was at the time. Of course, many of us love Deadpool so much because of his sense of humor. Even that was huge for superhero movies that took themselves way too seriously. Now superhero movies can be funny. Before Deadpool, not many people thought a movie full of CGI gunfights, fights, and explosions could ever work as a comedy. Guardians of the Galaxy was the only superhero movie that came close to doing that, and even that one was more of an action-adventure. Deadpool was all about making people laugh from the beginning of the movie's title sequence to the end of the credits. This movie was great for people who like Seth Rogen's raunchy comedies. It felt more like a big-budget Marvel parody than a real superhero movie. This movie's effects on the industry were obvious. It might have come out later that same year, but if I look at the extensive reshoots Suicide Squad went through, I can guess the movie's sudden meta-humor might have resulted from Deadpool's success. That's all the ways that Deadpool changed the superhero genre. See you in the next one.